Why do some children stay calm, even in stressful situations? Why do certain kids rarely scream in public, rarely throw huge tantrums, and somehow seem emotionally balanced from a very young age? Many people think calm children are simply born that way. But in Japan, there is a parenting philosophy that quietly shapes emotional behavior long before problems appear. And surprisingly, it has very little to do with punishment. In fact, one of the biggest Japanese parenting rules is something modern parenting often ignores completely. A child's emotions are not controlled by fear. They are shaped by emotional atmosphere. And once you understand this idea, you may never look at parenting the same way again. In many cultures, parents try to stop bad behavior immediately. The moment a child cries loudly, parents react with yelling, threats, punishment, embarrassment. The goal becomes controlling the child quickly. But Japanese parenting often approaches emotional behavior differently. Instead of asking, "How do I stop this behavior?" the focus becomes, what emotional environment created this behavior? This changes everything. Because children absorb emotional energy constantly. If a home feels stressful, children often become emotionally reactive. If parents constantly shout, children learn shouting too. But if the environment feels calm and emotionally safe, children slowly mirror that calmness, naturally. Japanese parenting understands something powerful. Children copy emotional atmosphere more than verbal instructions. One of the biggest Japanese parenting principles is simple. The adult must regulate emotions first. This sounds obvious, but in reality, most adults expect children to stay calm, while the adults themselves are emotionally overwhelmed. When a child screams, many parents instantly react emotionally. But Japanese parenting often values emotional composure from the parent first. Why? Because children borrow emotional stability from adults. A calm adult nervous system helps calm the child's nervous system too. This is why many Japanese parents speak softly, even during stressful moments. Not because they never feel frustrated, but because emotional control is seen as part of parenting itself. And over time, children begin learning emotional regulation naturally, by observation. Interestingly, Japanese parenting usually avoids dramatic public confrontation. In many countries, parents may loudly scold children in public places, but Japanese parents often try to guide behavior quietly and privately. Why? Because public shame can create emotional insecurity instead of emotional maturity. The goal is not humiliation. The goal is awareness. This creates an important psychological difference. Children are corrected without feeling emotionally attacked. As a result, many children become more cooperative instead of defensive. And slowly, emotional stability becomes internal, rather than forced. Japanese families often value routine very strongly. Simple daily rhythms help children feel emotionally safe. Regular mealtimes, predictable bedtime routines, structured school habits, calm morning preparation. To adults, routines may seem boring. But to children, routines create psychological stability. Because children feel calmer when life feels predictable. Chaos creates emotional overstimulation. But structure helps the brain relax. This is one reason many Japanese children appear emotionally composed in public. Their daily lives often contain quiet consistency, and consistency reduces emotional anxiety more than people realize. Another powerful Japanese parenting idea is teaching children awareness of others. From a young age, many Japanese children are encouraged to notice how their actions affect people, how noise impacts others, how public harmony matters. But importantly, this is usually taught gradually through social awareness, not fear. Children begin understanding emotional responsibility naturally. For example, instead of hearing, "you're bad," they may hear, "look how your actions affect everyone." This teaches empathy instead of fear. And empathy often creates calmer behavior long term, because emotionally intelligent children become more self-aware. One thing that surprises many people about Japan is how independent children often become. Young children sometimes walk to school, help clean classrooms, carry responsibilities early. This is not because parents are harsh. It is because responsibility creates confidence, and confident children are usually emotionally calmer. Children who feel useful develop stronger emotional stability. But children who are constantly controlled may become more emotionally reactive. Japanese parenting often tries to slowly build capability instead of dependence. And emotionally, this changes how children see themselves. They begin believing, "I can handle things." That belief quietly reduces emotional chaos. Many people assume calm Japanese children simply hide emotions, but healthy emotional calmness is not emotional suppression. There is a difference. Japanese parenting often teaches emotional control slowly, through social modeling. Children are not encouraged to explode emotionally whenever feelings appear. Instead, they learn patience, timing, awareness, self-control. And over time, emotional maturity develops naturally. Modern culture often treats every emotion as something that must be expressed immediately. But Japanese culture sometimes teaches not every feeling must control your behavior. This creates stronger emotional discipline over time. At the center of Japanese parenting is one major idea. A peaceful child usually comes from a peaceful environment. Not perfect parents, not perfect children, but emotional atmosphere. Children constantly absorb tone of voice, stress levels, tension, emotional reactions. Even when adults think children are not paying attention, they are emotionally observing everything. This is why calm homes matter so much. Soft conversations, predictable routines, emotional patience, quiet evenings. These small details slowly shape a child's nervous system. And over many years, that emotional environment becomes personality. Today, many parents around the world feel overwhelmed. Modern parenting often becomes loud, stressful, emotionally exhausting, and many families are beginning to search for calmer approaches. This is why Japanese parenting philosophy attracts so much attention online. Not because Japanese parents are perfect, but because the philosophy focuses deeply on emotional balance. It reminds people that raising calm children is not only about discipline, it is about emotional modeling. Children learn calmness from living around calmness. And perhaps the most powerful parenting lesson is this: children become what they experience repeatedly. The parenting rule that creates calm children is not punishment, it is emotional atmosphere. Japanese parenting quietly teaches that children absorb the emotional energy surrounding them every day. Calm adults create emotional safety. Emotional safety creates trust, and trust helps children regulate themselves naturally. In the end, Children do not only listen to what parents say, they absorb how parents live. And sometimes the quietest lessons become the strongest ones of all.